it is wrong. It's not acceptable. Condemn its name and shame. So I think we have a new generation that
This is the news on 104.1. Favor FM, the heartbeat of God.
Cattle restocking beneficiaries training. Former Mbarara cow threatens to shoot district park chair. And residents of Ethiopian town forced to kill hundreds of their dogs after rabies deaths. A very good morning. Welcome to the latest news on 104.1 Favor FM with me, Okello Willimax, and the news now in detail. Gulu City Council has intensified the implementation of the government restocking program by conducting beneficiary training aimed at ensuring proper utilization of the funds and improving household income through sustainable livestock production. The three-day training, which is underway at Pechelaro Division Office, began on Wednesday. Mildred Awuma, the communication officer for Gulu City Council, says 640 beneficiaries so far have been approved across Gulu City. Of these, 451 have already received payments amounting to 225 million shillings. She explains that to prepare beneficiaries for successful implementation, the city leaders have so far trained over 200 beneficiaries from the former Layibi area and former Badege area. She says the training covers the proper utilization of the restocking funds in accordance with government guidelines, selection and purchase of quality livestock, animal care and disease prevention, as well as mindset change and enterprise management. One beneficiary who preferred not to be mentioned says the Uganda shillings 5 million allocation may not be enough to cover the purchase of the 5 cattle in addition to transport and other related costs. Edward Omaido, Gulu City's principal veterinary officer, encourages beneficiaries to budget carefully and make prudent purchasing decisions within the funds provided by the government. His Worship Julius Labeja Achere, the mayor of Gulu City, urges beneficiaries to use the funds strictly to purchasing cattle as stipulated under the program. The Trust Fund for Victims at the International Criminal Court, ICC, has appealed to states, parties, and other donors to increase contributions to support reparations for victims of the former Lord's Resistance Army Commander Dominic Ongwen and former Congolese militia leader Bosco Ntaganda, saying current resources remain insufficient to meet the court's reparation orders. The appeal follows an addition of 25,000 euros, about 106 million Uganda shillings, and restricted contribution from Italy, a state party to the Rome Statute, that to support the funds program for victims of war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide. The fund is seeking to raise at least 10 million euros, which is equivalent to 41.9 billion shillings annually, to finance court-ordered reparations and rehabilitation programs, including the implementation of the landmark reparation program for thousands of Ongwen's victims in northern Uganda. In 2024, the ICC approved 52.4 million euros, which is about 218 billion reparations program for victims of Ongwen, who was convicted in 2021 on 61 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity committed in northern Uganda between 2002 and 2005. The implementation of that program depends largely on voluntary contributions mobilized by the Trust Fund. Kevin Kelly, a member of the TFV Board of Directors, welcomes Italy's latest contribution but urged other state parties to increase their support. In national news, Albert Kamugisa, the chairperson of the Mbarara District Public Accounts Committee, PAC, has been served with a notice of intention to sue by David Muwezi, the former Mbarara District Chief Administrative Officer, COW, over alleged defamatory statements. Through his lawyers, Muezi is demanding a public apology and compensation of 300 million shillings for what he describes as damage to his reputation and professional standing. The dispute stems from the proceedings of the Mbarara District Public Accounts Committee held on the 16th of last month at the Kamukuzu District Council. According to the notice, Kamugisa allegedly accused Muezi of irregularly disposing of prime government land at Kamukuzi without following the required legal procedures. The land in question was reportedly allocated to several government institutions and other entities, including the Administrator General's regional office there in Mbarara. Muezi, however, denies any wrongdoing. Muezi's lawyers have given Kamugisa 14 days to issue the demanded apology and compensation. They warn that failure to comply will result in legal proceeding being filed in the court of law. Kamugisa has not publicly responded to the notice by the time of this publication. You are listening to the latest news on 104.1 Favor FM with me, Okello Willimax. In another news, residents of an Ethiopian town have been forced to kill hundreds of their own dogs after 3 children died from rabies. Residents say powerful community groups in the central town of Osana told residents they would be fined and arrested if their dogs were not killed, even if the animals had been vaccinated for rabies. Lord Mayor Samuel Sigute says the community groups issued the orders after 3 children died from dog bites and 80 other people were hospitalized because of the same biting by dogs. Witnesses say that after the order was imposed, some reluctant owners hanged their dogs or beat them to death, while others were handed over to be killed. In sports news, Northern Uganda Media Club Numek will face Bethel Soccer Club in friendly match on Sunday at St. Peter's Arena, Laro. The fixture aims at creating rapport among the two teams. Ivan Tolit, captain of Numek, urges the players to arrive early in order to make team selection easier. He also advises the squad to avoid overrunning with the ball given their advanced age, but rather play 1 or 2 touch ball. Michael Ochira, captain of Bethel Soccer Club, urges his team to play disciplined football and avoid unnecessary cards that could hurt their chances of winning the game. And to end the news is a scripture that is chosen from the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31, and it says, "But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." That is the news. Thank you very much indeed for listening it from 104.1 Favor FM, presented by Willimax. I will shortly be back with your announcement. Good morning.
That was the news on 104.